All right, let me tell you a story. It's a bit sci-fi, a little bit of a math puzzle, but it's really about a massive cosmic misunderstanding. A story where the fate of an entire galactic alliance literally hangs on the meaning of just one single number. So picture this. Across the sheer vastness of space, intelligent life wasn't just some fluke that happened once. Nope. It popped up three totally separate times on three different worlds, giving rise to three very, very different civilizations. First on the scene, we have the Tetra Ari, a super practical species, but here's the detail you gotta remember, because it changes everything. They've got 4 fingers on each hand. Next up, the Pentari. Now these guys should look pretty familiar to you. They evolved with 5 fingers, just like us. And because of that, their whole worldview, well, it's what they, and we, would consider totally normal. In rounding out our trio, we have the Hexari, an elegant, highly logical species that develops 6 fingers on each hand. Seems like a small biological tweak, right? Oh, you just wait. It has absolutely massive mathematical consequences. So we've got 3 species, each with a different number of fingers. Now you might be thinking, who cares? 4, 5, 6 fingers? What's the big deal? Well, it turns out it's the root of a galactic-level crisis. It all comes down to how their own bodies, their own anatomy, literally shaped how they understood numbers. I mean, it's the most natural thing in the universe, isn't it? When you're a kid, you learn to count on your fingers. And that's exactly what each of these civilizations did. They built their entire mathematical foundation on the number of digits they had right at their, well, fingertips. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. For the Tetraeri, with their 4 fingers on each hand, they naturally count in base 8. So when they count up to the number 8 and run out of fingers, they write the symbol 10. For the Pentaeri, our 5-fingered cousins, it's base 10, so their 10 means 10. But for the superlogical Hexari, with their 6 fingers, they use a base 12 system. So their 10, yeah, that means 12. And this right here is the absolute heart of the problem. For every single one of them, the symbol 10 doesn't actually represent a fixed number. It's a concept. It's the symbol that simply means, okay, I've used up all my fingers, time to start a new group. It's the universal sign for, I'm out of fingers. So let's cut to the scene of the crime, the very first galactic summit. You've got all 3 species in this huge, futuristic chamber, ready to build this amazing alliance. But they figured, first things first, we need a universal standard for science, for trade. And they started, fatally, with math. The Tetratari delegate steps up. For them, their system is perfect. Base 8 is the peak of efficiency. It's clean, it's simple. Why on earth would anyone ever need more digits than that? It's just wasteful. Then the Pentanari representative speaks, and they just can't believe what they're hearing. From their point of view, base 10 is the only way that makes any sense. It's intuitive, it's natural, it's obviously the right and only choice. And then the Hexari delegate calmly, patiently lays out their case. Base 12 is just better. It's more versatile, you can divide it cleanly by 2, 3, 4, and 6. They look at the other systems and just see clumsiness, especially when it comes to fractions. And their tone isn't one of debate, it's more like they're correcting a child's homework. And that's pretty much where diplomacy just went out the airlock. The Pentari get all defensive and fire back at the Hexari's base 12 system, which needs extra symbols, like letters. The Hexari just sneer back, looking down on a system that stops at a measly 9 before it has to roll over. And hey, not to be left out, the pragmatic Tetrari get the last shot in, basically saying the Hexari's biology is just needlessly complicated. Suddenly, nobody's talking about math anymore. They're arguing about their bodies, their very identity. From there, it just completely unraveled. Each species was so totally convinced of its own logic, a logic that was literally hardwired into their bodies, that they couldn't see an inch of common ground. Logic, as it turns out, just wasn't enough. And so, that grand new era of galactic cooperation, poof, it all just fell apart. Not because of a war or a fight over resources, but because 3 incredibly intelligent species couldn't agree on what the symbol 10 actually means. So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. The underlying truth of math, that 1 + 1 will always equal 2 no matter where you are in the universe, that part is constant. It's a fundamental truth. But the way we choose to write it down, the symbols we use, the systems we build that are based on our own very specific biological point of view,
That part is not universal. Not even close.
And that's really the question this whole story leaves us with, right? It forces you to take a hard look at your own assumptions, at all the things you think are obvious truths, and just ask, what else are we so sure about? What other big ideas in our culture and our science are not universal laws at all, but are just the product of our own five-fingered way of seeing the world?